the innovation and planning iteration in SAFe, and what is what is it and why is it there, I guess? Well, for people to be able to innovate, you need to give them time and space so that they can improve the way they work. So the innovation and planning, as the name suggests, is built in every PI, which is a cadence of anywhere between 5 to 10 weeks or 12 weeks. That is, actually, I got that wrong. It's 8 to 12 weeks, a cadence of 8 to 12 weeks. Then that allows the teams and the teams to reflect innovation and plan for the next part. It also is a guardrail or a buffer because we are planning ahead and we need that buffer just in case things don't finish when we expect them to finish. So there's a little bit of a guardrail and buffer to make sure that we get our predictability that we're after. And then there is time to innovate. So innovate could be all sorts of things. So we could run hackathons, it could be training. We also could be when you are consuming products from third parties, whether they are suppliers to you or they are third-party libraries or something like that that you're using. The innovation could be having specialists in those areas to come and teach you or let you know about some of the features, capabilities that exist in the product that you may not be using and you may not be aware. Or when the product evolves, typically when we use something, we get used to its features and how it works. And then the product developers, if you like, they keep improving it, and we may not be aware of some of those benefits that it will allow us to improve the quality, do things better and faster. But if you're not aware of it, then we'll never know. And that's what another thing that we can use that innovation and planning iteration for. So that's what it is. So we do innovation and then we plan what is coming up in the next PI, which is another cadence. So, and again, if it wasn't for that iteration being there, it's going to be very, very difficult for teams of agile teams to say, coordinate and be synced up with a time, because everybody will be saying, well, we haven't quite finished, we need an extra day, we need this. Whereas that is built into the framework and says, okay, planning will always happen in these 2 days. Everybody will come together, we plan, we look at what we've learned, and then we move forward. So that's the planning side of it. Also built into the innovation and planning iteration is problem-solving workshop. And part of that problem-solving workshop is about looking at systemic issues. In other words, issues that are affecting a number of teams, and they are beyond the team's ability to fix. And then we will look at that and say, okay, what are these problems? Let's find out the root causes for them. You know, there are many root cause analysis approaches that you can take. And once you've identified the root causes or the root cause of the issue, then it's about saying, okay, so that's part one. But part two is to say, okay, now we need to plan this into next PI, or if for whatever reason there are business priorities that it cannot go in the next PI, it will go the one after that. So as soon as possible, we put and build the improvements in. So that's also part of the innovation planning. But when we do this problem-solving workshop, we do it with everyone, all the key stakeholders in there. So the Agile release train is there, the product management team is, business owners are there. Now, and why is it important that we have those in there? Because unless you understand the impact of this problem, that impediment that is stopping the flow of value to your customers across your Agile release train, it may be difficult for you to sanction the investment that you need to make in order to get this thing into next PI, which is happening just, you know, the planning that we're going to do just straight after this thing, after this workshop, to say, oh yes, this is really important. It's costing us an hour a day, or it's costing us a day a week. And that's across the whole Agile release stream. So that is a lot of friction that we have, as well as sort of the morale impact of it. And also if people feel that they can do a better job that the system allows them to do, that will lead to, that pride of workmanship, that you're capable of doing better, but your hands are tied, then that's not going to be good for getting the employee engagement going. So that's what happens in that innovation and planning iteration. Few things: innovation and planning, and also reflecting is an inspector adapt element to this 2 weeks, is reflecting back on what has happened across the teams of teams. How can we improve? What is that improvement? Understand the root cause and plan it into the next iteration, the next PI, to get it delivered.